Alright guys, welcome back to the channel. Tuning in to Johnny's Motorized Bicycles. Today we're working on my bike. I don't know if you can hear that behind me, but let me show you what's going on right after you hit that subscribe button for me. Hit the like or the dislike, and most of all, like always, please drop me a line. That's my favorite part about this whole thing, is I'm doing this not for views, but to share the content with people and just have fun. So, can you hear the chirping? I know you can't feel it. That chirping. That's usually the sound of air leaking past the head gasket. At least in my knowledge of this. The sound is definitely coming out from on top. That high-pitched chirp. So I made a new head gasket I'm going to put on there. So let's go ahead and rip this apart. Also, here it's still, yeah, here you go. But also the clutch is starting to grab at idle. So I got to adjust the flower nut more than likely. It's out. So my bike has a couple things going on with it. Now I wanted to work on it yesterday, but I couldn't because I spent the whole day working on her bike, and her bike is running phenomenal, if I do say so myself, which is wonderful. But the main thing is I wanted to change spokes, or one spoke, because see the nipple? No spoke? No spoke. Yeah. When the chain popped, that's the one that it broke. I don't think it broke any other ones because I didn't notice anything else really weak. But like, see this one here? I don't know if you can pick it up, but it's bent. So the chain came down with, or chain down, but it came around with quite a bit of force. All this red is a dead squirrel. A squirrel jumped out right into my chain, and you can see what happened. So I gotta wash all that blood off. I'm just kidding, that's grease. I use the red tacky Lucas grease. But let's go back. Stop getting sidetracked here. But when the chain flew off, it broke the spoke, at least the one. To replace this, I have to take the sprocket off. So like her bike, how I replaced the 7 spokes yesterday, I'm gonna take this rim off because it's a good rim still, but it's a little out of true. It could also tend to be pushed over on the axle a little bit, so I'm gonna do that too. And I guess we'll just go from there. But that is all secondary to getting the engine to run right, because if the engine doesn't run right, we can't do nothing with it. I made the head gasket and it came out okay. I thought it was gonna seal, but it didn't, because it was slightly ovaled in one spot. I'll show you when I get it out. The new one in my pocket, probably getting bent right now, is mucho bettero. I think it looks much better. The outside, the corner, like this corner here, see how it's like that? That's the outside, it doesn't really matter. The inside's great. I deburred it. I just used a Dremel, and then it was kind of bent, so I beat it flat with a hammer. It is a little thinner than the stock aluminum, but we'll see how that goes too. Okay, so I just took the head off. I don't know if you can see that on camera. It's pretty hard to see with the red backing and the silver and that gigantic black line, top and bottom. But that I don't actually think, well, I had cleaned this up, so this is probably a little bit, and I had tightened it down after I heard it chirping. Hey guys, this might be a good teaching moment actually. See how I'm having trouble, it's getting stuck? See how there's a big gap on this side? Very seldom do you have your studs all in the same spot, but I cannot pull it up, okay? Like it comes up everywhere else but there. So if I take this and not bend it, but I just push the stud that way towards the gap, just a little bit, it'll come off easily. Then you're gonna rip your gaskets up. But what I'm thinking about doing is stacking this one with my new one so that it gets a really good squish. This is slightly thinner than the stock gaskets. The aluminum ones, I mean. Now obviously you can get different thicknesses, so it's not much thinner, but it's definitely thinner. So if I put both of these together and then crank down on it, we should get a real good seal, and I think we'll be okay. That's where it started to blow out from in the old head gasket. So that's cleaned up. This is all cleaned up. Looks pretty decent. And I'm just gonna put it back together. And then we're gonna take her for a rip and see how she does. Hopefully no more squeaking. Oh, I still gotta clean up the gasket, and I'm gonna do double gaskets. I wanna put double gaskets on. I'm gonna leave this as the bottom gasket because the cylinder is super flat. The head, unless you get it decked really well, they come with a lip. I'm sure you've all seen it. That's the part that usually crushes. See that? The shiny part? That's what crushes. Like if I do that, I feel a gap. Now on the back, there's no, you don't feel anything because it's flat up against the cylinder. But the top, you do feel a little lip because that's what crushes. This crushes down into the gasket. So I'm gonna put this one on first. Then I'm gonna put this one on in the same exact orientation it was before, so it's in the same spot and it crushes flat. Okay guys, so I am still out here working on the bike. I decided to rip the rear wheel apart and fix the spoke. After I fixed the clutch, everything else went together so good. And side note, I told you in the other video that I am under this old pharmacy drive-through or whatever it is. And it's, I don't know if you can see, but it was pouring out and it is completely dry where I'm sitting. So that's freaking awesome. So anyway, this one, the one that broke was, it went through it this way. This is how I do it. I don't know if it's the right way to do it, that's how I do it. It's supposed to go in front of this one. There we go. Bend it into it. And then I go from this side. Let's see if I can put you on my knee. The Gorilla Tape in here as the wheel protector, whatever you want to call it. The rim protector, whatever. Almost dropped you guys, sorry about that. Here, I pushed it down prematurely, not thinking. And I'm gonna have to screw it. And then I just, I don't know if you can see, but I just literally screw it down with the flathead. I don't know if you can see. Oh, you definitely can't see that, you're falling. Oh boy, sorry guys. Sorry, I didn't mean that. I don't have a spoke wrench, which I really do gotta get. I honestly just use my crescent wrench, which does a horrible job, but it does do a job. I am going to finish looking at all the spokes, make sure they're good, and then I'm gonna true it and put my sprocket back on, and I think that's it. I'll be good to go again. Okay guys, it's getting really late and it's really dark out and my back really hurts, so this is what we got and I'm pretty happy with it. Can you see it? There's a slate, but I mean it's not bad. It's really great, honestly. Alright guys, I am in Somerville and I am about to head to North Plainfield. This is right after I finished fixing the bike yesterday. Put 2 head gaskets on, both made by myself out of a sheet of copper. Oh, not bad. Got ourselves some coffee. Gonna need some fuel when I get home. Figured I'd stop and show you what it looks like halfway through. I broke off the fins, or ground them down until they broke off smooth and flat at least. And I'm working on the intake port. It just takes a long time and a lot of grinding with this thing, so just figured I'd give you a look at what it looks like on its way to completion. Yet it is nowhere near completion. I still have 1, 2, 3, 4 more fins and 2/3 of the port, and then I gotta file it down and make it perfectly smooth.